Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Speed Force Racing round 12 around Spa, once I remember how to speak. My name is Lord JB13, and I should normally be down in the Haas garage, but I'm not tonight because I'm up here in the nice warm commentary box, dry commentary box actually, with one AHA Danny. Danny, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's a lovely weather, I can see. So that'll make some good racing tonight. How is everyone? Hope you're all well.
Well, we had a funny 5 minutes earlier. It was quite a tense time as we had a lot of, once I remember how to set up my comms setup, we had a lot of, a few moments with everyone. I've just got the info from the weather down there. By the looks of it, it's wet. I couldn't tell. Dry, wet race. Okay, we're going to have an interesting one tonight. So, Spa, Danny. Cruel mistress in the wet or flowing track?
Flowing track, cruel mistress through Eau Rouge. That's what I'd say.
It is Eau Rouge and Raidillon. On this game, you can lose a lot of time as Joshua Fletcher goes wide, but he comes back on track. Lucky him, that could have spelled ending. It could have spelled a big end for his qualifying effort.
Just spectating Josh Fletcher now. But yeah, like you said, it's make or break through Eau Rouge, especially in the rain, because you can gain so much time, or lose so much time.
Well, I tell you what, sorry to interrupt you, but Blood and Sands has gone for the brake option. Unfortunately, he has ploughed it into the wall at Raidillon. And, oh, Jade as well. She's ploughed it into the wall at Sector 2. I believe that's after Pouon. Ollie and Gamey. Ollie, oh, having a moment, cutting across the grass. Ooh, that was a scary moment. On board now with Gamey things coming through Eau Rouge. Oh, little slide, keeps it going. No, I believe he's on a lap, and so is Noak, the championship leader, just ahead in the Mercedes.
Very quick time by Marquez.
That is an insanely quick time. Under 2 minutes is very difficult in the wet here at Spa. I mean, it's one of the only tracks. I think Silverstone is the only track that could reasonably be the one to touch a 2 minute time. He's now retiring, I believe that's in the pit lane. No, Sector 2, I think he's retired on track, but no rule against that right now. So Noak, championship leader on his lap. Just coming through the zone where the McLaren is parked up. Oh, the wind kicking all of that air, all of the rain onto his visor. He's going to be struggling in these conditions, but he knows what he's doing. He's a championship leader for one reason. He's quick. All conditions now coming down towards Blanchimont. This is the fastest point in the track, and I love this part of the track. I adore it. Down, make sure he's okay. He stays on track. Good man, Noah, getting a lot of downforce to keep him stable. The Gort is in second place. Well done, the Gort. He's had a string of podiums, I believe, recently in things I've commentated on. Oh, Noah with a big slide coming across the line now and takes fourth. It's not quick enough to be beaten. It's not quick enough to beat his main championship rival, Joshua Fletcher, who's still on a lap.
Will Joshua Fletcher move up to second, but the time is minimal. You're talking, I don't know, it's close anyway, but will he keep second here? Let's have a look.
Coming across the line now, and he doesn't! Oh! The championship protagonist starting third and fourth! VSR Marquez takes pole position here in Belgium. Carlos in the Ferrari reserving for T. Jonas is having a Renault in front of him. Marquez goes even quicker. A 1:58.4. That is unheard of. But back to the action we see on track right now. You see VSR, not VSR Marquez, Carlos and S. Graham now. Carlos on a quick lap. I'm assuming S. Graham too. Carlos will not be pleased to be stuck behind S. Graham on this lap, though he will be grateful for the tow coming into the straights, even though they get a little bit close. Don't touch, you'll get a 5-place grid penalty, gentlemen. Coming across the line now. Carlos goes sixth,
Sixth place,
displacing Humbug. Well done, Carlos. That was an interesting 15 minutes there. So here we go. So a formation lap here in Belgium as VSR Marquez leads the grid away on this formation lap with Hamilton in second. The Gort in third in that Silver Arrow Mercedes, and the McLaren in fourth of Joshua Fletcher. He's splitting the two Mercedes because there's Nowak in fourth. Carlos in his first ride out as a reserve for T. Jonas in the Ferrari is in sixth. Humbug in the Sauber is seventh. Linnell in the McLaren, in the second McLaren, is in 8th. Gamey Things leading Force India's charge in 9th, with SFR Chopper, my old teammate, in the Haas in 10th. Ollie P, in my old car, is in 11th, with S. Graham in 12th. Smelly Badger in 13th, and Alan K, remember his name, not Alank. Alan K in the Toro Rosso is in 14th. Yuzi in that McLaren, that's a McLaren apparently. It's in the Renault, is in 15th. Mays is in 16th in the Red Bull. His teammate Blood and Sands is in 17th. Techno Thriller, the world champion, the reigning world champion, down in 18th place. BDS Jade Rios in 19th, and Honey Badger, unfortunately, holding off the grid, holding off the end of the grid. So we line up 5-3, red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. With Omen not going to go anywhere, but here we go. They're all going like for it, and there's Nowak looking towards the inside. We've got an awful camera angle, but Marcus leads around. Nowak into second place from fourth. What a start! Hamilton into third. The Gordon fourth. There's a little bit of pushing at the back. I think there's damage. We're down now through Eau Rouge for the first time ever. The Concertina effect. Everyone being careful. They're all good. Carlos getting past Humbug, Ollie P. Looks like they're all through Eau Rouge with no damage. Yuzi stop go penalty for ignoring a yellow flag may not have been his problem, but Nowak makes a move with who's that? Hamilton. He's passed. He's in second place. And here comes the Mercedes though, going to go on board now. On board with Nowak, championship leader, having a look. Marcus pulling to the right straight away, pulling to the left again. Yep, he knew that Nowak wasn't going to get a chance. Jade Rios. 3-second penalty, sector 1, and yes, Graham's gone. Oh, it's at the edge of Eau Rouge as well. That's a cruel mistress for it, and S. Graham will be bitterly disappointed for that event, for that crash to have happened there at a corner that you do never want to get wrong. Here comes Nowak. Is he going to be able to make move? He makes move down into the inside of the bus stop. Marquez, they get it stopped properly. Marquez goes for the stretch back, but that's a move for the lead. And Nowak wins. S. Graham's left. So that Nowak wins. Nowak wins that battle, but S. Graham has left the session. That could possibly mean that these drivers are now in a difficult position. Blood and Sands has retired, but S. Graham leaving and Humbug leaving may mean that we've just lost. Oh, Blood and Sands has been hit off at Blanchimont by the looks of it. It's raining.
It's raining. I can see raindrops.
It is. I've just come on board with VSR Marquez. It has started raining. Everyone on the harder compounded tyres. Ooh, Nowak, you've made the wrong decision, mate. Techno Thriller, 3-second penalty. Oh, I'll tell you what, sorry to interrupt you, but Honey Badger, the gentleman who started in 20th position, is currently in 7th place. This could be Honey's first clean race in Speed Force. He's had a few first lap collisions. I think he's made it through all on his own without having any issues. He's looking down the inside at the corner just before No Name. On Ollie P on the Haas car, the Williams just edging out in front. Honey Badger passing the Haas car in glorious fashion, heading towards Pouon. Jade Rios is in the pits as well. It's definitely not time for intermediates. We can tell that from the stream, even though we don't have the weather up. We're just going off ice. It's not even time for intermediates yet. But look at this. Look at how close Marquez is on the harder compound tyres to Nowak, and yet he's still staying this close to him. Jade is on intermediate tyres. That is a too early call. That is most definitely too early there. It's not wet enough for intermediates, not yet. But Marquez now on the attack, going after Nowak. GP1 Hamilton in third, and Josh Fletcher getting closer in fourth. Not wanting to lose anything because he knows he's quick in the wet round here. Even though I think I might have destroyed his race last season, I can't really remember. But here comes Marquez. Nowak made a mistake at Eau Rouge, and Marquez passes and has DRS. And he's just streaking away. Look at that. Fantastic move. Sector 1 and 2, there's been yellow flags. I believe that might be a car who's... Oh, hang on. Was that a car backwards there?
Was that Jade? I see it was a Pink Force India. It
was Jade who put on the intermediate tyres way too early, as we said, so she has been disqualified for reversing on track. That is very unfortunate, and she will not be happy with that. I'm sorry, Jade. I know you watch the streams, but you put the tyres on too early, and it just didn't work out. I understand it's a panic move. I've done it many times, but still. Sometimes the engineer might be wrong. Time to listen to him sometimes. But hey-ho, it's happened. Oh, Smelly Badger on the grass, having a little bit of a mess up there. Hopefully he's alright. Doesn't look like there's any damage on his car. Not at all, but he's still going. He's lost a lot of time, though, to Lee Nell. So on board now with TTL Mays, who's hunting down Lee Nell in that McLaren. He's going to have a shot now on the McLaren. Is he going to get past him on the run to Blanchimont? Is this Verstappen on Nasser? He doesn't stay in there. He's having a look, though. He's got so much more grip on these soft tyres. But look at the gap now to Marquez. And oh, Lee's gone deep, though. Here comes Mays. He's passed him because Lee went too deep and locked up in the chicane, I believe. But this opens up Techno Thriller, the previous champion, Season 1 champion, to get past Lee Nell. As Ollie P has retired. Let's have a look at that. Oh, he's lost to the Eau Rouge.
Now at 3-second time penalty for running wide through on Rouge.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, mate. Smelly Badger has had a massive accident on the way to Blanchimont, and he's taken his rear tyre off. Oh man, that's gonna hurt. Marquez in the pits. Josh Fletcher in the pits. Hamilton coming in. Hamilton. Oh no. No. That was not very good there, GP1 Hamilton.
What happened?
What he did there, he cut the inside chicane, the green, infield of the chicane to come into the pits. Almost DRS has been disabled. It's time for intermediate tyres. But he almost made contact with Joshua Fletcher, and I believe that should go to the stewards for dangerous driving. But oh, Honey Badger cutting top of Radion. But he's on the soft tyres. He's making a move on the Gort for the lead of the race. The Gort is going to leave him room, hopefully. He has just brought the UI off, and there we go. That shows Honey Badger has confidence in these soft tyres he's running. So jumping down to Carlos in the Ferrari, once I remember my names, trying to have a look at Alan Kay in the Toro Rosso. Not brave enough to make a move, go too wide through Eau Rouge. Possibly not the best conditions to do that move. Here he comes, no DRS, you've got to do it purely off slipstream. Possibly a dive bomb coming, not enough yet, not close enough yet. Definitely the right decision. You want to be careful in these conditions, you don't want to lose your wing at all. He definitely is. Oh, he's holding off there. He didn't lift off. He knew what he's doing. Is he going to make a move around the outside into the bus stop chicane? Can he get it slowed down enough? He does. He is now past Alan Kay for 11th position. Techno Thriller in 8th. Not for long, no, because he's had to stop for Lee Nell. Techno Thriller into the pits, though. So there's been contact where he's lost his wing. Lee Nell is now in 8th. TTL Mays in 9th. Techno Thriller in the pits in 10th. But Carlos, his teammate, reserving for T. Jonas, is on his way now. Ooh, that's interesting. Carlos has got a broken wing as well in the other Ferrari, so he chooses not to pit due to his teammate being in the pit lane. So lap 13 now with VSR Marquez as our leader. So Danny, how do you feel about the driving you've seen? Sorry to interrupt though, mate. We're not gonna have time to ask you that question, as Yuzi now coming through Eau Rouge. He's got very close. He's gonna pass Alan Kay. Here comes pulls to the outside. Alan Kay, yeah, fighting it. Who's ahead right now? I believe it's still Alan Kay. Alan Kay running a little bit less drag. Still holding it into the air, but Yuzi, oh, there's contact. Tyre on tyre. But Yuzi is through. Alan Kay may now lose the position to Techno Thriller. Techno Thriller following him through, but he doesn't yet. But he has. Alan Kay can seize the position to the championship, to the champion, not wanting to fight too hard there. Here we go. Noah sizing up the move. He runs not enough wide. Chopper seems to be letting him through, but he's pulled to the outside. He hasn't let him through all the way. Chopper going for the switchback now. As he got it, he's alongside. Noah having a little bit of a twitch. But Noah running just so much less aero. So Noah flies away in 6th position now, getting past it. But Chopper will not want to muck about here. He wants to get past him and stay ahead of him. Meanwhile, Techno Thriller has passed his teammate for the final points, playing position. Honey Badger there, taking a nice line, not being affected by dirty air too much. The Gort seems to be following a similar line to what you would in a drive-through here, though normally you could run the karting line, which is you run any line in the wet, as there's no particularly perfect racing line. Here we go, Honey Badger. Is he going to pull a Verstappen? Is he going to go round the outside of Blanchimont in the wet, even though Verstappen did it in the dry? No, he doesn't, because he's not close enough. Is he going to have a look into the bus stop? He's had a look, but he chooses not to, as they're just too close to each other. He doesn't want to take his front wheel off on the Mercedes. You see Honey Badger struggling with traction, still within 5/10 of the car ahead. Oh, the Gord having a wee slide there, still within the 5/10, just heading down towards Eau Rouge. Is it going to be one down in the Kemmel Straight again? Shall we see on board with Honey Badger? Oh, it's going to be even before the Kemmel Straight. Here we go. Honey Badger round the outside of the Gort, passing the Mercedes. And a brilliant move there, but the Gort's coming back. Who's going to come through the corner first? Noah getting a 3-second time penalty. It's Honey Badger. The gentleman who started in 20th place has got up to 4th position in 16 laps. Well done to him. Blanchimont. Oh, here we go. Side by side. Is he going to do it? Oh, there's contact. Josh is going off track. Ooh. Josh has let him through. I believe that'll be taken to the stewards, because there was contact between those two cars. It was tyre rub, yes, but it sent Joshua Fletcher off track and gave Hamilton a little bit of an advantage there. Alan Kay is on the wet tyres. The extreme wet tyres, the blue sidewall tyres. This could mean that he believes it's wet enough for them. He seems to have a lot more traction, but how are we now? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 5 laps to go here in Spa. Maybe 6 if you count the one that they're on right now, which you probably should. Is it worth pissing for these extreme wet tyres? Here we go. Josh Fletcher is now the man to watch. He could possibly still win this race on strategy. He's got to pass the Gort. He's got to pass Honey Badger. And he's got to pass Hamilton, who's just had a twitch coming through Eau Rouge to get into 2nd place. And he's got to get past Marquez, who is 15 seconds ahead of GP1 Hamilton. Oh, Honey struggling with traction though. Ooh, very close to the wall on the outside of Eau Rouge, heading towards Raidillon. Here we go. Eau Rouge crossing over Raidillon. Oh, Hamilton cut that corner a little bit. He's got the run. Here comes Honey Badger, the Williams around the outside. Hamilton letting him through, leaving the gap. And Honey Badger into 2nd place. Is Hamilton going to let him? He's let him through because Hamilton might not have the traction left in those tyres. He's been battling a lot versus Josh Fletcher now, who's on fresh wet tyres. He's taking a gamble. Is he going to get past the Gort? Danny, what do you think?
I think he's going to get past the Gort. He's come down 2 seconds in half a lap, and there's 2 seconds between him now with a lap and a half to go. It all depends on if Gort's going to defend hard or what, but I think Essentially, mate, you've got fourth in the bag. He's right behind him now. He's got this.
He most certainly has. I'm going to pop back on board with this. I just wanted to see where Marquez was as he gets ready to start his final lap. But here comes Josh Fletcher. And what we'll do at the end of the race, we'll try and get the podium in here if we can. I'm not sure who will join. Danny will have to send the invites because he's handling the party. But here we go. Josh Fletcher. He's having a look at extreme wets versus intermediates. Old intermediates versus fresh extreme wets. Oh, this is a section you don't want to get stuck behind the car. You lose a little bit of time, a little bit of traction. Ooh, Josh is itching to get past. He doesn't like the back end of Mercedes anymore. He's trying to get past Nowak for the championship lead, and he's trying to get past the Gort for 4th place. Oh, is there lag in the lobby?
I think there was a little bit there. He's so much quicker. You can see he's having to lift off. He's behind the Gort and having to lift off. There he is now, another run. Coming up to the bus stop, slings it down the left side. All side by side, going round the chicane.
He's got
just
through him.
Room, and he's in 4th place with 1 lap to go.
He most certainly is. Let's have a look now. Sector 1 and Sector 2. There's been a little bit of an issue. I think that was just a little slide. Tell you what, could you just look at Marquez for me and tell me when he's about to finish his lap? Oh, he has already.
Marquez has finished, and he's got the front left suspension snapped as he crosses over the finish line. So,
well done, Marquez. But look who's in P2. It's Honey Badger, the man who started in 20th position. GP1 Hamilton rounds off the podium, and Josh Fletcher, a brilliant 4th. The Gort finishing in 5th, and 11 seconds back is Nowak, championship leader, limping home after a pretty dire race as he comes. Oh, he's struggling on those tyres. Those tyres have had enough. They're down to the carcass. I think he's not very happy with how his race went as he crashes there across the line. I think that proves it. Here comes SFR Chopper in 7th place now. Just getting round to finish the lap. He may get past Nowak on penalties here. But he doesn't, unfortunately. Lee Nell's quite a way back. But he's going to finish in the points, which is a good drive from Lee Nell. Well done to everyone in these very tricky conditions. I don't think we'll have time to get the podium in due to starting late. And just of how disorganised we are at this moment. So unfortunately we won't get the podium sitters in. We will, however, get them in next week. At the normal time, as normal, once we manage to sort everything out. I do apologise. If you want podium interviews, you might have to have a chat with them yourself. But Alan Kay, there's still a race going on down here at 12th. Is Alan Kay going to have a last lap effort and shove it down the inside of Yuzi from quite far back? I think we now know what Nowak thinks of that race. Oh, Alan Kay, he's lost. He hit the grass, and I think that's it. He gets a 5-second stop-go penalty for barely exceeding track limits, and I think he's had enough of this race as well.
He might not finish this race at this rate. Come on, Alan Kay.
There we go. Brilliant, brilliant race there. Alan Kay in 12th position finishing the race. Unfortunate. I do think that stop-go penalty was harsh. Caught it on stream. I don't think he cut much of the corner. But your podium here is VSR Marquez. Marc Marquez, as I call him, on the podium where he belongs in that Sauber. With Honey Badger from 20th position in 3rd place and GP1 Hamilton in 3rd as well. Apparently, Honey Badger in 2nd and Hamilton in 3rd. Brilliant race there. I think one of the best races I've commented on in a while. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, it was interesting. Who's your driver of the day? I think I've got mine.
I've got to say, I've got to go with Honey Badger for that smashing drive from 20th position.
Got to be Honey Badger. From 20th up to 2nd, no penalties. Well done, mate. Keep sending up on the back. That was good racing, that.
Definitely is.
The standard of driving in this league, very clean, very nice, especially Techno Thriller. After watching Techno Thriller for a few laps, even when he come across the track, class, absolutely.
That was a very good moment where Techno. I think that's possibly the moment that I would pick as my favourite of the race, when Techno just stopped at that point on the apex, just pretty much put the handbrake on to not hit Lee Nell, as he knew that if he came across the track there, he would have taken Lee Nell out. I think it's time we ended this stream and just put behind us a fantastic race here at Belgium. I think one of the best I've commented on. Oh, That's a good night from JB, and hopefully a good night from you, Danny.
Yeah, you too, mate. Enjoy. Ta-ra, lads.
Ta-ra, everybody. See you in Monza.